once again by the one and only VG Imperium. How are you doing, man?
I'm absolutely fantastic, man. I'm ready for some action, some hype in the NACL. The teams we have against each other are going to be Attrition and Hadean Era, Maxman.
Yeah, so we already had not Attrition, but we already had the occasion to stream some Hadean Era. So you're gonna have to check. Oh, just got the drafting. Okay, this is going really fast. Going to box right into the draft, Imperium. We're gonna go in. So let's go. Let's get cracking. So we do have Hadean Era onto the A side and Team Attrition onto the B side for this BO3. So gonna be having the first ban, Cruel, for Team Hadean Era. Just a hero that slowly in this 2.12 meta has been highly prioritized. Also in the pick and into the ban role. So what do you think of that ban there? First ban, Cruel.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, just got a first ban Cruel, Imperium. What do you think of that on the side of Hadean Era? Okay. It looks like you're gonna have a little bit of technical problems anyway. So yeah, first ban Cruel. So that's a hero that's been highly prioritized in any like basically anywhere. 5v5 is very powerful, but 3v3 when you have less heroes and just less way of countering that hero, is just open free damage. They did get a buff on the time for him to get his shadows, empowers, and his passive. So it's nice to prioritize to get a priority onto banning him onto the A side. So going to be taken off right away for Hadean Era. Going to have to see what they want to take down next. Vox is something that's also been banned quite a lot onto B side when you are drafting on ranked B side. You got Vox, you got also Koshka that's really good into this 2.12 meta. So Imperium, are you back?
Yeah, I am indeed.
Oh, Imperium is back. Oh, still got a few problems, unfortunately, with Imperium. A little bit of connection problem. Yeah, so gonna have to see like Vox and Koshka seem like two very high priority bans onto this B side for Team Attrition. Gonna have only a few seconds left before the ban timer is out. And gonna have to check it out. Looks like we might also have problems on their side if they're not able to draft. Attrition at time 0, still nothing coming out. Gonna have to choose now, or this will be too late, unfortunately. Yeah, so yeah, basically Vox, Koshka, they can also ban a Grace. It's a very good first pick into the captain role onto the A side. Because Grace, right now, with the Echo, Divine Intervention, with the Fountain, getting the triple heal onto those heroes is so effective. That's a hero you might also want to try and shut down because we do have then the double ban situation onto this NACL match. So yeah, gonna have to check how it comes out. Imperium, are you back? Just gonna get info.
Yes, I am indeed. I am here, mate.
Oh, okay. So we did have a first ban Cruel onto the side of Agent Era. What do you think of that, Imperium?
Cruel is so strong right now. Got such a strong buff in the 2.12 patch. Maxman got buff on the perk. Just really hard and strong hero. Is able to get onto the enemy so easily now.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's just able to stick to an enemy, and also you can build a little bit later. Like can basically go for the Spell Sword. Spell Sword is something that's been highly prioritized too onto a first item very recently into this 2.12 patch. Because it enables you to get the cooldown, get your extra mana on every hit, that enables you to be very sustainable with your abilities, and just get Dead Man's Rush, Spectral Smite very fast, and just able to out-sustain if you're going to get bursted down or if you are in sticky situations. And I don't know what's happening right now with the draft.
But also, just one thing to point out: the buff that was given to Cruel actually negates needing to get Shiver Steel a lot, which actually frees up an item slot for either more pure offense or actually more tanky defense. So it's actually a double buff that Cruel got. So it makes him so broken somewhat in the 2.12 patch.
Yeah, he's part of the few heroes that came back very, very strong. You got Cruel, you got the Koshka, you got the CP Vox that came back very efficiently. So, like, we're still waiting for the second ban, for the first ban on the side of Attrition. Still not coming up, unfortunately. Just going to try and check anytime soon what's happening. So yeah, so just sorry for the little bit of time that this is taking. Players are still just popping into the party right now. Just gonna have a little bit of a delay. So sorry for that. I hope you guys will forgive us.
Hey, look, these things happen. But yeah, just talking about kind of the meta or the shift in the meta into 2.12 patch and how it's affecting these picks and bans coming into these kind of matches. I do expect the CP Vox to be banned or Vox to be banned on the B side. for this first match, just because he's so strong. He just deals so much AoE damage. And then because you don't really want to ban
banning Koshka.
another. Banning Koshka. I'm actually surprised about that. I was gonna say you don't really want to ban Koshka on the first round of bans, because one, is gonna leave Vox now open, and also I just think it's a little bit wary. It's just something that you can possibly pick up yourself.
Yeah, because I did ban the Voshka, the Voshka, Vox and Koshka. Okay, they do pick up the Vox there. So A side is that much more efficient because CP Vox is back in meta. Weapon Vox still very powerful, and this is just a situation now. You're gonna have this Vox into a flex pick on the side of Hadean Era, so that much more hard to counter for Attrition. So what they should have done, in my part, onto that first ban on the side of Attrition, is not banning all Koshka or the Vox and leaving them both open, because you do give one OP hero of 2.12 over to the enemy team. You also keep one over for your own sake. So anyway, we do have the Vox pick up there and the Koshka out. So we're gonna have to see what they want to do a first pick on the side of Attrition.
Yeah, letting that Vox go was definitely dangerous. Maybe pick up a Churnwalker, just because Churnwalker can be, I wouldn't say a counter to the Vox, but with the AoE damage that Vox will deal out, potentially, as it will be CP, you know, the Churnwalker will absorb it.
Yeah, but they just picked up the Idris there on the side of Attrition. So once again, like CP Idris, we didn't talk about him, but CP Idris is one of those heroes that slowly came back because he's got a little bit of buff on his abilities for the CP route. So quite effective now. It's going to check it out. And then, as you said there, just to come back on what you just said, Imperium, the Churnwalker, I think, is something they want to prioritize on the side of Attrition, because if they do decide to go with a CP Vox combined with a Churnwalker, is absolutely deadly.
It's AoE damage all the way, and it's so hard to shut down as well because Vox is so mobile. Yeah, okay, Churnwalker isn't the strongest frontline support, but when you have all of that AoE damage being shared out amongst your enemy team, it would just make it so hard with another frontline enemy jungler like a Rona or even a Glaive.
Yeah, and what a time we do have then the second ban for Attrition. There's going to be Rain, so that means Churnwalker is still open. Banning Arden too for Hadean Era, so now we're going to have Rayman Arden right off the bat of these next picks coming up. So Churnwalker should be the next focus for Team Attrition, because leaving that open would be a really, really sticky situation. And I'm not staying sticky into a word because it's Churnwalker, but it will be complicated because you got the CP Vox getting in with the Resonance, just applying already that shared damage in its own, basically, and just again the extra shared damage with hook and chains from a Churnwalker, from the Churnwalker would be absolutely huge. And like right now, they're still at the 0 second. I don't know if Attrition is having a problem banning right now, but yeah, right now Churnwalker still open. They're going to be complicated.
Yeah, and also let's not forget about the CC that would come out with a potential Vox and Churnwalker combination, because Vox has the way for it. It's an ability that is somewhat overlooked as a CC, as a silence ability. It does help the likes of a Churnwalker get off his trespass and torment successfully to deal out damage onto the enemy team.
Yeah, and what at the time they just picked up Grace on the side of Attrition to combo up with the Idris. That means Churnwalker is open, and that would be a fabulous pickup for the side of Hadean Era, just able to get the sheer damage and just late game the absolute monster and scale up so fast with the Dragon's Eye, Alternating Current. If they do decide then, because they're not sure yet, but to go towards one of those, towards a CP Idris. CP Vox. And CP Vox into an Idris and Grace duo. What do you think of that, Imperium?
It's actually not bad for the Grace and Idris, because Idris and Grace, they do work well together. They can both dive onto the enemy team. And actually, Grace is somewhat a potential counter to Churnwalker, Max, because she's able to get onto the front line, kind of look to stun with the holding over before the hook and chains can get onto either her or the rest of her team. So with the Idris, it's actually not a bad pickup. It just depends on what the last two picks are going to come out from Hadean Era.
Yeah, but talking about picks there, we do have then the Lance pickup. That means Churnwalker will not be seen anywhere close into this map into this game in duo with the Vox. There might also be still weapon Vox. So going to have Lance duoed up. So I do like Lance into a Grace because into the late game phase, if you're able to CC her while Divine Intervention, you're stopping one of her core abilities to actually be useful and to rain down to help out an ally. So the Lance CC can be useful. I hope to see an echo on this Lance in the late game phase. Going to be the case onto the Grace, but also on this Lance would be quite interesting. And let's see what's the last pick going to be on the side of Hadean Era. Well, they're looking for that. What do you expect? Oh, we're going to be Alpha then. Alpha.
Alpha is very strong right now in the 2.12 patch max. You know, her stacks last a lot longer on her perk. It's gone up from 5.5 to 8 seconds. So she is so strong with Aftershock. Dragon's Eye, absolutely monstrous as a hero right now.
Yeah, the fact of her keeping her stacks up is for her to allow to do jungle camps more efficiently into 5v5. That means 3v3, it's some kind of OP, if you may see it like that. It is some kind of OP because she's able to just, in a team fight, to keep her stacks so efficiently and all the time that she can just regen, and she's so auto-sustainable. Something she didn't have that much before 2.12. She was sustainable, but she could still get bursted down. Now, she can have her stacks super long, and just come back in a fight, even though if she has to back out, come back in after a fountain or anything else, she comes in, just get the core charge, prime directive to reposition, and she can still stay full HP. She's basically a Rona, but with two lives at this point. Imperium, looks like we might have lost Imperium once again, unfortunately. Sorry for that. So yeah, so now we do have then on the last pick for attrition, we do have the Idris and the Grace up and loaded. I'm going to be going then onto a fortress. So they, as you said, Imperium just before was the Idris. They wanted to have to try and get the potential to dive onto the Vox. And I know they're going to try and infest this even more, this fact, by going with a fortress. So they're just going to try and dive with Idris, Grace, and this fortress, just diving in with the attack of with the truce of the twos, attack of the pack, when he's going to get his ultimate level 6 spike up. It's going to be very interesting to see if this Fox is able to survive, and that's why I do like the Lance pickup, and that's why also I was talking about an Echo. If he can Echo the double Zhythian wall, even though if they block it out, he's got this other row of CC ahead they're going to have to try and avoid. So I do like this pickup of Fortress mode. They're going to be going against a very big wall, even though a Zhythian wall is going to be this Lance.
Yeah, but I like the Fortress pickup because Fortress dies really well with a Glaive. With a Grace and an Idris. So I think that's great for kind of helping to try to shut down Hadean Era. However, one hero I think that would have been a little bit stronger simply because of the CP strength and to do with the CP strength of the Idris is actually Glaive, because Glaive would have helped to reposition the Vox quite nicely for Idris and Grace to have gotten onto him. So I think that would have been a better choice instead of Fortress, but we can't deny how strong Fortress is.
Yeah, that's very true. We're gonna have to see how it pans out in the game. He's gonna have to wait a little bit more. Other teams are slowly ranking up into the group. So yeah, every time I'm gonna ask this, but Imperium, what team are you gonna be supporting in this game after you saw this draft?
Going based on the draft, it's got to come down to how strong attrition can play as a team. Because I think as a team, they've got to dive all together, Max. They've got to really ramp up how well they play the positioning game, and also once they hit their power spikes. I expect the Fortress on the Aftershock. I expect the Idris on the Spell Sword most likely. And once they hit those power spikes, I really think once they dive in, they should be able to get the team fights and the game.
Yeah, and as I said a little bit earlier, I really hope that the Lance on the side of Hadean Era is going to go with an Echo. It's going to be a very, very important item just to get the double CC chained up with the Impale. You can like get double Zhythian or double Impale depending of the situation. But I think that would be a very smart case to pick up, because when you got dive potential going in with a Fortress and a Grace, with the Benediction and the Truce of the Twos, it's just so important that you're going to have to try and go up against those abilities so efficiently. Getting the CC is going to be very important. So I would go towards an Echo. And then because of the last pickup and also the Alpha pickup, I'm going to go and give this game over to Hadean Era, that I think in the late game is going to be that much more sustainable. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's nice to have a split, a split cast, desk, so to speak, between who we feel are going to win. I definitely get your logic, and also let's not deny how strong Lance is in terms of his kit. Had fallen off the meta somewhat, but I actually think coming into 2.12, Max, he actually has really kind of hit a better stride. I know that's more seen in 5v5, I feel, but in 3v3, I've noticed him being played a lot more and actually a lot more effective. So I'd like to see him play to strengths in this match, and we will see how it happens.
Yeah, he's going to be having that beautiful golden lance, so it's going to be cool to see that out. As you said, like in 5v5, lance is that like he's really come back into 5v5 because it was very small corridors, is that much more efficient. Though in 3v3 is a bit more wider, so it's more a little bit complicated to actually play that. Oh, okay, I just spawned at the jungle shop there. That was weird. So yeah, gonna be now into the house and fold for this first game, opposing Hadean Era up against the one and only Attrition. And for this first game of BO3, so good luck to both teams.
Yes, both teams have a lot to play for in the NACL. It is the final week, I believe, of games, so it's kind of all to play for between these two teams. They are set out to prove a lot. It's kind of all come down to this after the group stages happen, Max. It's now or never where these teams have got to prove their worth, prove their might on the NA fold, and see how much of an impact they can make.
Yeah, just as you said there, the last week is going to be absolutely important for it. Like every team is going to be basically playing their win conditions at their max potential, because it's going to be, can't even call that like basically a run to the base for these teams at this point. And slowly the teams are slowly going to be coming up together towards this Elder Trin. Going to have a first team fight probably coming up anytime soon. Still level 1 for Myth 5 and Dog Knobs. Careful now. Going to be caught out a little bit. Does have the Jithian wall coming out from Myth. Able to win a little bit more time and damage onto Dark's Knobs. Oh, going to come back in Dust Knob. Going to be giving the first kill over to Hadean Era. Next time, be careful. Kirito going quite low. We backing out. And one time, Christian taking their win conditions in hand. You have to respect the early damage of an Alpha. Just going to try and take now their jungle.
Yeah, the early game damage that comes out from Alpha is so strong. As you're seeing this,
yeah, we do have a little bit of engage. Going to use the Knight Prime Directive, putting damage on all the side of Team Attrition. But I'm going to reboot safely into the bush. Nice positioning for a reboot there. Alpha, nice mechanics overall. Going to be missing, unfortunately, that Prime Directive, but so low, just taking it. Alpha was very low, able to reboot back full HP and taking once again that jungle farm.
Really good 3-man rotation coming out from Hadean Era. One thing to point out, that really helps secure the enemy jungle for their team and just helps ramp up this early game aggression.
Yeah, be careful there, Blade. For a second, just got a little bit caught out. Gonna be popping that healing flask to get the extra regen. Myth does still have his healing flask, so that's why he's staying onto a little bit of that front lane position. Going back in with the truce of the two to try and get the extra move speed onto Blade. Gonna take quite a bit of damage. Impel gonna be connects just on time on Kirito. Healing flask popped down for Myth. Now you got that Elder Trin. Gonna be the next center of attention on the side of Attrition, I think, because they are still going quite low. Where it's going quite far. Prime Directive nicely placed. Unfortunately, that will be the end of this Alpha. Christian going down, and so will Blade, and there will be a very early ace and a nice comeback for Attrition.
Oh, talk about overstaying your welcome, Max, man. Hadean Era got their early first rotation. That strength of the Alpha came out, but they just hung around for too long. They were relying on their healing flasks and just kind of not looking to port back, take advantage of what they took, and then get the enemy team. However, you got to give complete credit to Attrition. They didn't hold back. They stayed in it. They saw how low Hadean Era were, and by God, did they take advantage of it. First ace and first third in 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, but like you just talked about overstay, but look at that, it's happening once again. Prime Directive coming out, putting a little bit extra damage onto Waste. Just going to use the boost. They want to come back with the kills. Like, both teams are unfortunately just overstaying every single time. And something I'd like to point out real quickly before I go into another point is just something that Attrition didn't do is they got the ace there and they only went towards a turret, which is good. I mean, they didn't try and take the jungle farm or anything like that. So I think they could have like maximized their win on that little fight earlier.
Yeah, definitely, of course. But then again, you get a turret. You've essentially got a map advantages. As you see the alpha going in heavily.
Yeah, she's going in very far, but she is an alpha. She can regen quite a lot with her stats. Looking at that, Healing Flask going to be popped on Kirito, and so will it be the case for Dark Knobs. Impale going to be connecting just on time. Dark Knobs going very, very low. Going to try and escape. Unfortunately, oh my god, you're so low. And so it's Waste trying to do a little bit of a 1v3 there. Blade will be going down to Waste. Nice pickup in a 1v3 situation. That was very desperate. And unfortunately, will be going down to that Prime Directive.
Yeah, but what is that going to win for the side of Hadean Era? If they can get a turret out of this, yes, that's a completely successful team fight engagement. However, it seems like Attrition are just going to be able to come back up and help save that turret.
Yeah, that turret will survive another day. Nice Holy Nova. Impale going to be connecting there. Unfortunately, Dark Knobs overstaying once again, going a little bit too far. Going to be able to survive just a little longer. Survive another day once again. T-Blade just coming back up to try and put pressure on this turret once again.
You know, Doorknobs need to start respecting, and all of Attrition need to start respecting the damage that's coming out of this alpha on Christian. Not afraid to engage, not afraid to disengage, and then re-engage, as we see from all fantastic alphas. They will bait you hard, Maxman, and that's one thing you've really got to be careful coming out from Hadean Era. And also, you know, Myth 5 is sticking so nicely to the rest of his team, using that gifting wall to strength, impaling at the core precise moments. And yes, Blade has fallen down 2 times. We are seeing how strong Myth 5 is on this lance as Vision comes out from Hadean Era. Really good to try and help them secure the map advantage as they're looking to engage onto Attrition's jungle.
Yeah, look at that. The way that time going to be able to get a nice amount of CC on Dark Knobs. Going to be caught out once again and will be going down to the core charge. That's super fast right now. A lot of synergy coming out on this side of Hadean Era. Look, well, the time waste trying to get that turret.
Yeah, indeed. But look at Waste though. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Pushing that game that he knew that the lane was absolutely, you know, there's nobody in the lane, as we do see Waste is going to go down. No, doesn't pop the Healing Flask.
He's just trying to win a little bit more time. Will be trying to come back. Maybe no. Blade still has that Healing Flask up. Nice ultimate there coming out. Trying to pick it up. Jittenwall able to keep in range. And Waste should be going down any moment now with the Sonic Zoom. Nicely done. One time into the jungle of Team Attrition there. Going to be using a reboot for this alpha. Nice Holy Nova. Just on time. Get the extra CC you want onto that extra move stream. Prime Directive. Not going to be connecting onto that jungle camp. Will be going down. Giving over 2 kills. And really quick, Imperial, like, I got a question with you. T-Blade did go first item Storm Crown. What do you think of that?
I don't really agree with that. Normally, you're better off going for alternating current into Dragon's Eye, or even Aftershock into Dragon's Eye, but definitely you want something like... I understand why he's gone Storm Crown, because it just helps with that basic attack, but what makes CP Box so strong is having that CP damage, and Storm Crown doesn't give that compared to an alternating current. So, you know, it doesn't really make sense right now. However, maybe they're just playing or trying to look to play into the late game strengths for his team, and then once he ramps up with the 2 or 3 crystal damage items, then we will see T-Blade on this Vox come into his own, shine in this game. And also, let's not forget that he has Christian on the front line, just kind of being a menace.
Yeah. And just as you said there, with like the Storm Crown, like normally it's Aftershock. It doesn't even look like he wants to go towards an Aftershock. He should be going. It looks like he's trying to build like an Aftershock instead of that alternating current. And by the time Myth going to be a little bit overextending, taking quite a bit of damage, already mid HP. Nice way for it. Unfortunately, not going to be connecting because they did separate out just on time. Healing Flask just able to regen up a little bit Myth, and looks like this team fight will touch at its end.
And one item I just want to comment on is the Dragon Blood contract that came out from Credo. As talking about Credo, seems like he nearly got caught up, but no.
Yeah, he's just able to get out there.
Yeah, just about. So as we see, you know, Hadean Era looking to push the turn. No, look at the alpha.
Nice Prime Directive Impale. Oh, just stop with that Holy Nova. Nicely timed Dark Knobs. Now going to try and protect this turret. Unfortunately, T-Blade just nice positioning overall, trying to come back in, take down the turret, Prime Directive, and the Vox able to do quite a lot of damage. That Stormcrown did quite a lot of damage onto the turret, able to take it down really fast. Right at time, talking about going down very fast. This Fox is getting absolutely melted down, but still surviving. With a split of HP, they're trying to reposition. Nice use of that Truce of the Twos. One at a time, unfortunately, it will be the death of Myth. And oh, Christian, a little bit of an overstay. Looks like Kirito is trying to go there, trying to go in for the kill. He's going to be next to his turret. Should be going. Oh no. Oh, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. Trying to reposition, getting killed by those EU Treants. Ace over to Attrition.
Yeah, Attrition, the Aftershock Fortress, hitting that power spike max, and we're seeing the damage come out from the dive comp on their side, playing really good stuff, and there's only so much Lance can get in wall away. There's only so many times as another turret comes down.
Oh, be careful. Well, the time we drop, then the Vox getting a little bit caught out, still mid HP, gonna try and get focused down by Kirito. Unfortunately, he's still just gonna take a lot of damage. Sonic Zoom coming in, raise the Prime Directive and the auto attack of Myth, able to pick up the kill onto Doc Knobs and Kirito. Time Waste just trying to back out, and they're just putting so much pressure right now. And they're in the unbase, so they did have the advantage. Ace over to Hadean Era and just try and turn tables around. And we do have a full gold mine available.
Yeah, full gold mine. That was a good. I want to talk back about that previous ace that came out from Attrition. They went for the turret, which definitely wasn't a bad protocol. It's the last choke point. It's a choke point turret before the base. However, I think it would have been a lot safer for them to have gotten the gold mine and a.
Be careful. They just got the confirmation there. The lockdown on that gold mine for the side of Hadean Era was Alpha. Time, yeah, got a little problem there. Fortunately, look at that. The Vox just getting melted through the ground. Still going to use that termination protocol. Alpha going to be in reboot mode, taking too much damage. Unfortunately, even after the buff, just got deleted in an instant. Trying to win as much time as possible. Miss going to be missing that impale across the wall. Going to be a counter ace, like counter ace after counter ace after counter ace. And now looks like Attrition are coming back for extra gold in the enemy jungle.
Okay, yeah, they're able to get the Crystal Century, the lost out to the gold mine, but I want to talk about what's making Attrition work with their comp right now. Is not only is it a triple dive, but they're actually focusing really nicely onto the Vox. Maxman, you know, they're taking out T-Blade so quickly, and as I said, there's only so much the Lance can do to CC away the enemy team. There's only so many gifting walls he has. There's only so many impales. And yeah, Alpha is able to do something, but when you've got 3 players onto 1 player, that's nearly always going to go out the window. As we see, Vox hasn't quite hit his power spike. Still only an Aftershocks at Stormcrown. Isn't really doing much, Max.
And as you're talking there, like they were working quite well to focus down the Vox. And something else is that now Doorknobs has got that echo, just the monster item when you got this Grace as a support role. And now she's going to be able to give that much more sustain to her allies. Waste if he dives a little bit too far, and so is the case for Idris. Like, they're going to work so efficiently now. They got the Fountain, they got the double healing with the Divine Intervention. I think this game is slowly turning over back into, like, even though the advantage was going, like, from team to team, but right now Attrition has got their win condition and the time where they want to try and win the next fight.
Yes, exactly, and that's one thing, you know, as the goal difference is so close between the two teams, Max, I do feel that the team fight can go either way, as it's going to be a 3-man engagement onto the block.
2 to 3, Alpha a little bit out there, unfortunately Waypoint going to be going out, connecting onto the enemy team of Attrition. Not going to be re-engaging right away. Be careful, low mana there for Kirito. Still want to re-engage while your maybe not the best decision. Unfortunately, Hidden Flash going to be popped out onto this last, able to sustain a little bit more. But Blade going to be on his own. As you said, they're able to focus him down as well as possible. They're just going to leave him get away. And they're going to be positioned onto Waste, who was just going onto this Alpha. Take your win conditions in hand. Is this another counter ace? No, we're going to be having Doorknob able to back out Kirito. Just going to be run down by this Alpha. Prime Directive going to be missing out. Will be able to survive. Just taking 1 kill onto Waste.
Yeah, you know, Attrition's comp, it doesn't work well as a split comp. It doesn't work when one hero goes onto the enemy team and the other 2 heroes kind of go onto another part of the enemy team. As a comp, you have to go in as a 3-man team onto that one hero and stay there until you either get aced or you get the ace. That's the way it has to work for their comp. They're not able to survive you know, fighting 1v1 realistically, and they're not able to take down the enemy team as a 2v1, as Doorknobs just catches out mid-5, but doesn't amount to anything. So look, you know, that's what I mean by the team fights can go either way, Max. We have the alpha on a spell sword breaking point that's playing really good into his hands. And let's not forget she has the alpha, the Atlas, which is really good for getting onto the waist, you know, slowing the Idris down, and that's really going to play a big part in these team fights.
Oh, well, that time, Joe Myth there, just chilling out there, just drinking a cup of coffee, going down a bit of damage. Pushing Alpha, getting there, right in the middle, taking a lot of damage, but still dashing and dealing out a lot of damage. Now they do understand that they have to try and focus down this box. A lot of damage onto the box will be going down any second now, going to be deleted. 2v2 situation. Termination Protocol going to be going into the reboot phase for this Alpha, and is still able to reboot back. But unfortunately, will not be enough. Double kill over to Waste. And now this Lance just trying to chill around.
They're not going to get the gold mine because the Kraken has awakened. However, I like the fact that that Attrition have not spotted the scout trap that Hadean Era put out on that Kraken / gold mine area earlier in the game. So that's really giving them good vision. It's giving them a good idea. However, they are going to be able to burst this Kraken down so quickly because you have the fortress that has really good basic attack and good aftershock damage. Waste is gonna be this is dangerous. Attrition have got to focus on one thing or another. They cannot split focus.
Yeah, I think they should try and pull a C9 like move, is basically try baiting out an objective, and when they come over, just focusing them down. They could have even tried and got an ace if they tried and put it off properly. Did not go to that position, but like something I like to talk about real quick. Oh, be careful where I'm going to have a little bit of an engagement. Impale onto Kirito, able to keep him at bay, and it looks like the Kraken will be taken over for Team Hadean Era, and now be careful, going to be stolen out. Will be focused down and taken by the Alpha. Christian coming back in, trying to get a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Mid's going quite low, and looks like he might be the first man going down on the side of Hadean Era by that time. Look at these Vox. They do understand now. They didn't understand all the time. They did not focus the Vox every single time. I think they did understand their win condition is to delete Vox. If you take down Vox, you can literally win easily the team fight.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that one team fight where it didn't go their way was because they didn't focus, and now they're just going to be able to snap down onto this Kraken. Max, they do go on to all of Hadean Era. That termination protocol isn't really going to do too much as it is weapon power. Now Fortress has to be careful because they don't team.
Yeah, that's going to be ace. Oh no.
Yeah, ace. No, not quite.
No,
ace.
just respawn.
Yeah, just about respawn. They aren't going to get another turret out of that on the side of Hadean Era, so that was definitely a good counter engagement coming out from Attrition. This game is so close, Max. The two teams are 200 goal difference, if nothing, between the two teams, even though it's 16 kills on the side of Attrition and 9 onto Hadean Era. These team fights are going either way, and it all comes down to whoever can delete one or two of the enemy team the quickest will win this team fight. It's as simple as that, Max. I know it's nearly always the way, but there's nothing like a Samuel that can really 3v1 on any of the teams. The Vox isn't really do much, has only got Aftershock Broken Myth, is gonna play a strong part, but not as strong as I feel as if the Vox had Dragon's Eye, Max. If the Vox had Dragon's Eye instead of Stormcrown, would do a lot more damage in an elongated team fight.
Yeah, because sometimes they do have a little bit of problem to actually focus him down. That would be totally to the win conditions of Team Hadean Era. One time looks like Attrition did push a little bit into the enemy base. They're not going to look for an engagement right now. Yeah, just to come back on what we were saying, like, this game is very close. Oh, but I don't even have the time, apparently. Alpha going right in the middle of that wave. We're going to be coming out a little bit of silence onto Kirito. Now Christian going to be using his termination protocol. Going to come back in with the prime directive. Nice impale. Unfortunately, still going to be going Allahu Akbar. Now Doorknobs going to try and get out of that sticky situation. Early fountain. And also, divine intervention. Keep him waste nice and healthy. And the Alpha doesn't have the reboot available anymore. He will be going down. And now it's going to be a 1v3. And this looks like it will be game number 1 going over to Attrition as they slowly enter the enemy base to claim the life of this Lance.
Yeah, it's fantastic focus coming out from Attrition. It's hard to deny the strength that's coming out of weapon power. Idris right now, Waste playing Idris to the strongest strength using the Shimmer Strike so nicely, followed by the Chakram and the Shroud Step. It's just able to reposition so nicely in these team fights, and it was hard for Alpha or Vox to really shut down any of Attrition. Also, let's not take away from the absolute strong double divine intervention that was coming out of Doorknob and was also getting onto the enemy team with the benediction and the Holy Nova. So look, really good game between these two teams. It was so close, Max, but I called it was Attrition based on how they were gonna come into this game with the focus onto the Vox, and they proved me right, Max.
Mm. So just before we close up this game, I've got 2 points I'd like to come over. First one is but I'm not going to talk about the Vox because you talked about it all the game. But with Myth went on to a no wave gauntlet that I do not really understand, because you don't have the huge amount of CC that, for example, a Chernowalker would have, or let's say an Arden wants to actually use before a gauntlet to avoid getting a Crucible to get all the team out. He didn't have that huge CC that will explain the purchase of Norway Gauntlet. So that's a little bit of a dark side, I would say. Like something I don't quite understand why you would go and purchase that. And the second point, Imperium, is basically this game has only been enemy teams focusing on the enemy's team mistakes. Like if they didn't take down the Vox, they would come back. So what do you think of that, Imperium? Like mainly mistakes. What could have gone better for both of these teams?
Of course, look, both teams could have overall have gone into this game or played the game a little bit more structured. Max, as in when you take a team fight win, don't hang around for too long. Pour back, take what you got as an advantage, refocus, regroup as a team, and then go back into the next engagement correctly. And then you will start to snowball really nicely. If you hang around, like we saw, there's a potential that's going to be counter engaged onto you, and you're going to lose that team fight. And yeah, and another thing is the no wave gauntlet coming out from Lance. I slightly understand it, but because it was a 3-man dive, Max, that no wave is only going to go onto one of the enemy team. You still have two of the enemy team that is going to cause a lot of hassle. A better item would have been the Echo, so you would have double guillotine wall in the space of half a second to a second. Would have made a lot stronger difference with the engagements coming out from Attrition. So yeah, of course, mistakes made, but there's still potentially 2 more games to go in this best of 3 series, Max.
Yeah, and it might even be only one more game if Hadean Era are able to claim the next game. So we're gonna have to check out that, and just gonna try and get into the next draft as soon as possible. But into the second draft, we're gonna see what teams want to try and focus down, because they focused down into the draft this Vox, like first pick, as we expected, but we did not expect that build. It was, let's say, very weird, and it showed that it wasn't really working out as he was going 0 to 7. So probably gonna have to rethink all over what they want to do on the side of Hadean, on the side of Hadean Era. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think as I said, I think it more came down to build that was coming out from Vox. I've seen most really strong CP Voxes building an alternating current into Dragon's Eye and then into Broken Myth, because the Dragon's Eye just really helps stack up, and you're able to kite back nicely as a Vox can, and you're building up those stacks. Yes, a lot of the reason why the Voxes shut down, as I said, came out from the fantastic draft on the side of Attrition with that 3-man dive, and they played that game really nicely. But with the Dragon's Eye, you would have survived and built up those stacks a little bit more, and would have potentially given your team a lot better chance.
And while that time, we are slowly going to be entering the second draft or the second game. Attrition now going to be onto the A side, and Hadean Era going to be onto the B side. Gonna have to check out what heroes they want to try and focus into the ban and pick phases. So what heroes do you expect to see coming back into the first few bans of this game?
Well, it's funny because two of the meta heroes in the 2.12 patch were picked up by Hadean Era, and they kind of lost that game. So if they had won that, I would have instantly said, well, you should definitely see a Vox ban. And I'm not saying you shouldn't see a Vox ban, but Attrition have the A side, so they can kind of afford to, let's say, ban something like a Koshka first ban, or let's say even a Grace first ban to negate, let's say, a dive hero if they do decide to pick up the Vox. They've gone for the Cruel. A strong hero at the ban makes sense. Absolutely, I wouldn't say outright broken, but when it's played right, it is just absolutely devastating for the enemy team. Coming out from Hadean Era, I'm not sure right now. What would you think yourself?
But because now you do have the Cruel banned, that means you got Koshka and the Vox. So as I said earlier, because they did ban the Koshka, it did result into a pick of Vox. So right now I would say do not ban Vox or Koshka. Leave them open. Ban something else. Ban a Grace, ban a Chernalker, ban an Arden, ban what you want. But something else in those two heroes. That means you're going to give over one of the top heroes of this meta, and you can also pick one over for yourself. So I would say right now, ban Grace, Arden, or Chernalker, and pick Koshka or Vox, the one that's going to be left if they do decide to pick it, and take that one over to your side.
Yeah, that's true, but let's not forget, no, they do ban the Koshka, and you know, I totally agree with what you're saying, but let's not forget that that kind of strategy is actually more for a team that is very confident going into the game. And I feel that Hadean Era, they went into the first game feeling quite confident on their comp, and they kind of lost it. So when you're going into the second game, 1-0 down, when you were felt really strong about the first game draft, you don't really necessarily want to take the same attitude or more confident attitude into the second game, Max. You want to play a little bit safer. So just banning a Koshka, that's very strong. Yes, if you had a throwaway ban, you could have picked up the Koshka, but who knows that Koshka is really a comfort pick on the side of Hadean Era. So taken away, it's just taking away a strong pick, but does leave out many strong heroes on the side of Attrition, most notably a Vox.
Yeah, we might even see a Vox come back there once again as a flex position. I hope to see a better. Oh, Arden first pick for Attrition. Okay, was not expecting that one. That means Vox is still open. You're gonna see if they want to try and focus it down, but that means got the Arden given up. Not given up. Sorry, picked up for Attrition. The hero is able to combo quite well with dive comps, like can go pretty well with the Fortress, who you just saw the game before. And yeah, we're going to see what they want to play. Like, what do you think of that first pick?
It's a really solid first pick because Attrition, they won the first game, so they're going into the second game, I feel, with somewhat of a safe draft. They're going, okay, we're 1-0 up as the Grace is picked up from Hadean Era, and finally the Vox is banned on the second ban from Hadean Era. Yeah, I feel that Attrition are just going, okay, let's pick a really safe first hero. You know, Arden is very flexible between a dive comp and a kiting comp, and does provide a lot of CC between the Githy wall and a lot of defense with the Vanguard. The one thing to note is, you know, Arden has slightly fallen off with the cooldown nerf that he got on the gauntlet. So it's still a hero that, even though it's strong, you have to be a lot safer on how you activate the Githy wall. So you know, it still deserves a lot of respect when you play the Arden based on what comp you have with it.
Because if you do play it properly with your comp, as you said, with a dive or a kite comp, if you can like take your win conditions in hand with an Arden, you can basically like take any team, any comp, anytime. And then we do have a ban Grumshaw. Like Grumshaw is one of these heroes in 5v5 that I love playing. CP Grumshaw is so efficient because you can turn like in 5v5 a 5v5 situation into a 4v5. Here it's even more impressive that you can turn a 3v3 into a 2v3. So taking it off there wouldn't be bad because you don't have the stuff available. So gonna have to see what they want to go for one. But Blackfeather is open, and so is Rona. Two heroes that work magnificently well with a Grace.
And even somebody like, I wouldn't pick Rona simply because if you pick Rona on the side of Hadean Era, it leaves Sky as a counter, and Sky and Arden work really nicely together. So I wouldn't pick up Rona, to be honest. I would go for somebody like either Sky or even a Blackfeather, maybe not so Sky because you then have Taka potentially picked up from attrition. So Blackfeather would just be the most ideal choice I feel right now. Maybe an alpha if they don't want to pick their carry.
Yeah, also an alpha, there's just another one of those sustained heroes able to go into the front lane and get the late game fountain, double divine intervention with the echo. So this time we do have then the 0 countdown up. So looks like we might have once again problem to draft for Team Hadean Era. So yeah, like hero wise, as you just said, Rona is going to be easily countered. So I think also Blackfeather would be the best pickup because they will be able to flex it up. They're going to be then the Blackfeather desk, just like we were saying, just flexing it up into the CP jungle or weapon lane phase. You're going to have to check that out.
Yeah, and we're kind of overlooking a carry here that really hasn't fallen off, but it's more the fact that has been kind of the thunder has been stolen based on the 2.12 patch and the likes of Vox coming back as but Ringo is still really strong as a weapon power carry right now, Max. And it could actually be even a surprise pick as a last pick coming out from Hadean Era. You could easily turn that Blackfeather into CP Blackfeather, which I actually feel would be a really wise choice, even without as the Rona comes out from attrition. That means that if you do put the Blackfeather into CP, it does counter the Rona. So it's really not a bad option, at least for the last pick coming out from Hadean Era. As far as the last pick for attrition, maybe a Sky to negate a potential Sky counter, or maybe if you want to look for something like a dive comp, you could go for maybe a Fortress or an Alpha.
We were talking then about Blackfeather and Rona both get picked up into this draft, and I just said like Sky going up against Arona would be a nice decision. Just having the forward barrage, the super strike to reposition when she uses gap closures would be a nice pickup on their side. So then going onto a weapon lane Blackfeather. Also, what you got that's quite good against Arona is also getting a lot of CC. And when I talk about CC, I talk also about Batiste. Batiste could be a nice pickup. And then we're talking about Batiste, but no, they're going to be picking up, I would say, very wise choice for attrition. Picking up the Batiste that goes very, very well into Arona. But Batiste, unfortunately, is not that effective into a Blackfeather. Just able to use the Rose Offensive, reposition through your Fearsome Shade and through your Ordain. And yeah.
However, I think part of the reason why attrition picked up Batiste is because Batiste somewhat counters Sky. So by picking up the Batiste, you essentially, you take away certain element of the Rona being countered. So I think that's a really good choice by attrition. And also, let's not forget how strong Batiste can be with a Dragon's Eye Clockwork build. That AoE damage can really be a lot of strong stuff coming out from their team. You are going to have decent mobility with the Arden, and then CC is going to create a lot of opportune moments, as we do see Rhyme, the last pickup from Hadean Era, the sustainable old man, the man that just doesn't give up in a team fight, that just will not go down. With a Blackfeather Grace, Hadean Era are going to be a tough team to take down.
The Rain, the man who never dies, going up into a triple melee comp. That's an awesome pickup there. Just last pick, just coming out of the blue. Rain going up against Arden, Rona, Batiste. This is going to be huge. Because you do have then, as you just said there, just the sustain comp. That's, you just got Blackfeather, auto sustain, Rain, auto sustain, and durability with his fortified health. Divine intervention coming out in the late game to an Echo and a Fountain. They're never going to die. You have then Rona and Batiste onto the side of attrition, just also able to sustain, but not anywhere close to the sustainability of Hadean Era. So I think this game is going to be, these team fights are going to last long, very long.
They are going to be very elongated team fights. So I would like to see as I said, Batiste Dragon's Eye is a must as a first item. I've seen some people in the past in the NACL and outside of NACL pick up Clockwork first item. But even though Clockwork does give better cooldown onto your abilities, when they're going to have sustain, I just don't. I think the cooldown is just going to basically um, elongate a team fight as far as you dying, and actually not really equate to you, let's say, winning a team fight, Maxman. And also, let's the rhyme. I feel Dragon's Eye is actually going to be quite important as the first item. I know Eve is very popular in rhyme, but I just think against this comp that's essentially double melee, Dragon's Eye will make a much better impact for their team.
We're gonna have to see into the game what this Rain wants to pick up. As you just said, Dragon's Eye would be a core item, but like the question for him now is what he wants to focus in this first item. Does he want to try and do a little bit more damage into the early phase and get that Dragon's Eye, or be a little bit more sustainable and slowly scale up to the late game phase? Well, I can't really slowly scale up with Rain because he's an absolute monster since level 1 with those Winter Spires. But right now we are entering into the Hadean Fold any second now, and also like to come up quickly before we enter the game. What do you think of a poison shield going onto this Rona to stop the sustainability of the side of Team Hadean Era?
That will be a very vital item, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention it myself, Maxman. Poison Shield is vital on the side of attrition. It's going to play a really important part if it is picked up on the Rona. Because let's not forget, Batiste does have his perk, which is Reap, which does give him a lot of sustain in a team fight. And the Rona is gonna need to follow that up. I would slightly understand if the Rona went for pure damage, but Poison Shiv is such a strong item that it only makes sense against the Rhyme Blackfeather and Grace. Because the Rhyme is going to be able to use the Chilled Winds to shut down anything like the Red Mist. As you do see the captains go at it in the jungle, this is going to be a close game, Maxman. I'm absolutely excited and hyped.
Yeah, little battle of the captains there, and slowly the teams are meeting up once again to the Elder Treant camp. A little bit of a slow rotation on the side of Hadean Era.
Yeah, that's noticed. Faster coming out from attrition.
Yeah, and they're just going to be then securing quite easily for attrition this first Elder Treant. It's a nice pickup there, just trying to get a nice head start onto the XP experience and farm over all gold. So you're just going to have to see, and we do have like maybe a gank coming up there. Rona going to be having that level 2, does have the Into the Fray available to get out of the sticky situation, and the extra Vanguard of Doorknobs just able to save him out from using that ability. So yeah, just overall, like right now, it's going to be quite hard to see which team is going to come out victorious in this second game.
Yeah, I like what Christian is doing now. I thought it was a little bit risky when he went up the lane, but he's now looking to jump onto Greedo.
Oh, really no way! No way, he's just coming back in. Where's that foe splitter? Enough to burst down completely with the full blood rage damage myth. Oh, I have to be careful, just Christian there. You have to respect the fact he's getting into the enemy jungle at this point. Just going to be, Kirito will be securing that last minion there, just with the Bard Mojo stopping up the back out from Christian. It's just a game at this point.
Yeah, but now, there's not really much of an advantage by stopping the Rhyme from pulling back, or is there? As we are going to see Tension Rhyme being shut down.
Yeah, like as we said last game, like overstay is the key point of these two teams. Unfortunately, like trying to take care when enemy teams do mistakes, they try and turn it in their advantage. And more time, be careful. Waste trying to regen a lot. Nice Vanguard, able to give a little bit more sustain for Waste. Healing Flask going to be popped out. How do you know? But just on time, Waste going down. Do the auto attacks of mid there. Just that's the early game grace for you. She's still a monster on early only auto attacks. Now going to be going up against Kirito. You're never going to be missed out, unfortunately. And with the Ordain. Oh no, EU Treants. Ooh, almost doing the job there.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about these health trees and even the Crystal Sentries is that, and even the likes of the Kraken, they have a lot longer range compared to the previous patch, so they are being a lot more annoying for any team, as we do see Christian and the Myth 5 trying to get onto this Batiste.
Yeah, but still a Myth there, very low, never going to be used up. Looks like he's going to try and use his passive Reap and come back with a huge Bard Mojo, able to tear down Myth. Alright, a nice little rotation there from Wade, just trying to steal those camps. We'll be securing that healing Treant. No, nice. Gonna use that Ordain, keeping in range Christian. A nice repositioning of Waze Arden going to be picking up the kill, unfortunately, but nice. We are still 3 minutes 45 seconds in, 4-1 gold advantage of 600 for the side of Attrition.
Yeah, but it's not really. Yes, it's a gold advantage, but it's not really a game decisive gold advantage right now, Maxman. We are just seeing these kind of constant little engagements. You got to turn them into a map advantage. Invade the enemy team. Look to maybe, let's say, push lane, get an objective. And that's what's going to win you the game. These kind of constant overstaying your welcome, it's not really doing good for any team. Yeah, as we're going to see this, though.
Yeah, well, the time that they're taking chunk of damage is off mid. There's a little bit too onto the front lane. Are never going to pop out? Going to be connecting onto Dark Knob. Have to reposition in there. Christian coming out with a nice rotation. Chillwin's going to be connecting also with the Winter Spire, doing quite a lot of damage onto Kirito. With that lane Vanguard. This uses his own healing flask there. And be careful, Dark Knob. Going to take also a bit of damage. Like Grace, just no fear, just fight at this point. Using the healing flask, just going sometimes a bit too far. It did pay at some point. Get a pickup kill onto Waste. But you have to pay attention in the late game phase. Not do that too often. While they do rotate over to Doorknobs. Vanguard onto himself, trying to reposition. Did use his healing flask. Will be surviving just another day while Kirito comes as an extra support. And no, oh, they're gonna have that order and keeping into range. This Christian, nice into the fray, coming back in. Nice chill wins. Unfortunately, that will not be enough to save mid. Now can end up the turret. Nice, both splits able to pick up 2 kills there. T-Blade, this Rona is doing a lot of work right now. Doesn't have even a first item at this point. And looks like they're going to try and pick up this last kill. And it will be a very early ace over to Team Attrition.
It wasn't quite an ace, Maxman, but it was a team-wide win. And now they are going to be able to focus on this turret. This is what I want to see. You win a team fight, you look to get an objective out of it. It's been very kind of messy and back and forth so far in this nearly 6 minute game so far between these two teams, but we're seeing the advantage going over to Attrition with the fearsome shade stopping.
Yeah, about that ace. The deathcloak was so close. I thought he was going to be able to get it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Quite stuck of Hearthrobe onto Kirito. Have to back out, my friend. We're going to be going down. T-Blade just trying to push that wave under turret. We'll be doing a nice job. I'm just trying to steal a few counts now. So yeah, they just have to try it. Like, right now, 6 minutes 20 seconds in, 7-1 on the side of Attrition. It is working quite well. They are doing well against the full sustained comp, and we're still not into the late game phase when we're going to have the Echo, Divine Intervention, and even Divine Intervention himself is not available for Myth. So that's a power spike they're going to have to try and take attention to, or Waste just get a little bit engaged.
Yeah, but Maxwell, there's no point in having a sustainable comp if 2 or 3 of your enemy team as Rona is nearly shut down.
Yeah, spin to win. Nice fountain coming out, able to sustain. Unfortunately, going to be bursted through the ground. Whoa, using that red mist and with the face splitter, there's not enough regen. He does have the Serpent Mask. We have to still respect the damage output on the side of Hadean Era. Nice early Nova, able to keep them at bay. And just going to try and focus the turret at this point. Nice turret shot will be taking down mid. Now going to have a little bit of a 2v2 situation. Christian, a little bit too slow. Not able to reposition onto Kirito. And Doorknob just painting them out there with a little bit of a back. So yeah, like overall right now, you have to pay like credit to Team Hadean Era just taking down that objective.
Yeah, of course, that was a good objective push coming out from them, but just to kind of go back to kind of what you initially said about kind of Attrition doing well against this very strong sustained comp. As I like the fact that the Rhyme did pick up Eva as a first item, just gives him that little bit stronger sustain, even though I recommended Dragon's Eye. As I said, there's no point going on to your enemy team with a sustained comp when 2 or 3 of your heroes are half health. You're really not going to do much, as we do see Myth 5 is caught out.
Yeah, the Holy Never not even having time to land. Time just to burst. He's gained 3 stacks, 17 stacks. Breaking point onto this Rona. Spin to win. Nice Valkyrie. Going to be blocked out a little bit too late, unfortunately, by Kirito. But that's not a problem as they do secure the ace and this Crystal Sentry.
That was a really good advantage coming out from Attrition. They call out Myth 5 excellently, was able to shut down, even though the reflex block was used against Ordained. It didn't stop You know, fantastic waste, just being so aggressive on this Rona, using the into the fray to just get down, and then the Braid Miss helps secure the kill, as you pointed out, before the Hadean Nova was even able to activate. And then also great focus after a team win to get the gold mine. So really good stuff for them.
Oh, and well, that time it's infusion time as this render does pop at that weapon infusion. Getting the stacks up so fast, already 10 stacks, and the fight only started. Chill coming over, Hadean Nova triple stun coming out there. Miss using the reflex block on himself and a very early fountain in that team fight. Spin to win once again. Myth gonna get bursted through the ground. 20 stacks on that broken Myth. What can they do? Hadean Era just getting burn, and gets deleted. Another ace over to Team Attrition.
Yeah, Hadean Era need to scale it back a bit. You cannot let yourself get caught out. We are seeing a lot better 3-man rotation and focus coming out from Attrition. We saw it in the first game, and they followed up nicely in the second game. That Baptiste on the back line being so annoying.
Yeah, not even annoying. Like, he's even carrying. He's got 7-0. Against ready those stacks onto that Dragon's Eye. 5 stacks going up, and the Rona wants to stack up too. It's a battle of the stacks at this point. Turning round once again. Oh, the Fist of Shade stopping the Hadean Nova. Nicely timed. That one at a time, just going to reposition. They do delete Myth, and Christian will be following not very far behind. The wave's just going a little bit too far and going to be dying under that turret, and I think that's going to be the next objective for Attrition.
Focus the turret. Yeah, focus the turret, Credo. Good choice. Focus the turret, get it down. You gain more map control, more goal advantage. And yes, it's always nice to get another kill, to potentially get an ace, but they were not going to be able to do that in that situation. Under turret, nice flare coming out from Attrition just to help Credo just secure that health sentry, get him back up to full health. And this is really good stuff coming out from Attrition. I'm so impressed because they followed up for that fantastic first game performance. They are playing this team to the absolute core. They've got the Serpent's Mask breaking point coming out from the Rona is so sustainable with that core damage.
Oh, careful, Jeff. The engager Hadean Nova going to be connecting onto this waste. Oh, Fishing Jet coming out, blocked out nicely by Myth with divine intervention onto himself. Well, the time blade going very low. Use it to heal up your friend. And no, G-Blade not going to be saved up in time. Will be going down. Getting up 2 kills. And now the Ordain just locking down Christian onto his own land, the grave. The old man will, for once, die. And this, once again, is going to be turning into another ace for Attrition.
Yeah, and that team fight was probably a really good example of the itemized difference. And also, first of all, straight out the gold advantage and the item advantage coming out from Attrition. But just want to point out, it shows a difference between the Baptiste and the Rhyme in terms of the Rhyme has Eve, which is great, giving them extra sustain, but the Baptiste has Dragon's Eye. Building up those 12 stacks is just playing a core part in Attrition winning the team fights, because once he gets to 12 stacks, those bad mojos are chunking Hadean Era out of the game and out of the team fight.
Yeah, because it's literally a battle of the stacks in long team fights like these. One time, gonna have divine intervention pop quite early onto this Rona, onto the Rain. Unfortunately, not gonna be that much of a use because these Christians still getting deleted. Will be able to run away, but well, at the time, Blackfeather just unfortunately could not out-sustain the Baptiste down there with the Ordain, able to keep at bay this range. Just gonna get bursted to the ground and missed. Using Hadean Nova as a last resort will not be enough. Another ace to Attrition. At this point, it's just normal. It's not surprising anymore.
No, it's not surprising at all. You know, 22-3. They've got a 6K goal lead there and just dominating these team fights. Max, man, it's really hard for Hadean Era to get back into this. T-Blade V2 is playing definitely a good Blackfeather, but Rona weapon power, you know, does counter weapon power Blackfeather, so that's really not going towards them. Still not even a second damage item on Christian, so the Rhyme is really falling down. Look at this.
Yeah, one-man army. This Brendan just going completely in with a nice corner, able to keep them at bay. Fishing Shake going to be connecting, not going to be crucibled out. Crucible going to be used just after, a little bit too late. Rose offensive, trying to reposition. We're going the opposite way and we'll be going down. Unfortunately, you're not a frontline hero, Blackbeard. You are a sneaky hero trying to battle out and gonna get deleted. And Christian, Ordain, his fate is sealed by that Ordain, and he will be given over the ace to attrition once again.
Another ace, another dollar, so to speak. It's just, you know, or should I say, another ace, another objective. That is the core message that our attrition are putting out there, and they are just playing it perfectly. They are being they're just playing a symphonic game as Hadean Era are surrendering, Maxman. This is very unlike a team in NACL. I don't really know what to say about it right now. I always like to think it doesn't matter how far out of a game you are, your team always has a chance. And out of respect to the enemy team, you always want to play it till the end. You want to play a game until that vein crystal is shut down. Because let's not get away from the fact that, let's say the Kraken was up in less than a minute. It could easily have been taken by Hadean Era. It could have been stolen. As much as attrition had control over this game, Maxman, it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, in all the games I've casted in Vainglory, and God knows there's a few I casted, I never had a surrender situation. And even though the game looks like it was going to be going over to attrition, it's a game of Vainglory, and Vainglory you've always seen in esports scenes and even in non-professional scenes, comeback is always possible. Imagine a lucky Kraken still can come out. All right, we're not going to be questioning the decision of surrendering. Like, we're going to be talking mostly about what happened into the game. So right now, what was happening is, unfortunately, T-Blade got the Poison Shiv, got the Sorrow Blade, but I don't think that was giving enough sustain to this Blackfeather. He just got bursted through the ground at this point.
Well, yeah, and also it came out from the fact that the weapon power of Blackfeather is countered by the Rona. And when you have the Rona easily being able to aggress and jump onto the Blackfeather confidently, that gave so much extra extra kind of breathing room for the Batiste in the backline to position nicely, to get in the right position, and also use the Dragon's Eye to maximum effect. It's just an overall team combination that came from attrition. I like the Ryan pickup as a last pick, but you wanted to have picked a hero that was going to give Blackfeather room to be on that CP. So let's say they could have gone for Weapon Power Sky with a CP Blackfeather. I felt that would have been a lot more effective for Hadean Era. They would have been able to kite around the CC coming out from attrition, and it just would have given the Blackfeather again more breathing space to get onto the Rona and go in and out of a team fight.
Oh, well, I was looking at a few messages right there for the NACL next match is coming up. So yeah, but it's quite sad to finish onto a surrender. Unfortunately, in Imperium, that does happen. So yeah, so we're going to be giving over this game 2-1 to attrition.
2-0 to attrition indeed, and that does mean they do move forward onto the next round of the bracket stages in the NACL, Maxman. It does mean that they will be giving themselves the best possible chance. They will face the winner of they will face the Beam regime in the next match, which will give them a next possible chance of getting into the final of the NACL. It's a lot of